We gather here today to mourn the loss of yet another beloved social media platform. TikTok, you were chaotic, addicting, and arguably responsible for 90% of my serotonin. But as of last night, you joined the fallen heroes before you.
And so, in honor of TikTok's untimely demise, let us take a moment to remember the digital playgrounds of our youth, gone, but never forgotten.
ICQ. If you know, you know. The first time we felt the thrill of an instant message on dial-up internet. Rest easy, you little flower icon.
MSN Messenger, the birthplace of dramatic sign-off, sign-on fights to get someone's attention. Also the reason we typed BRB, even though we never left the computer. Gone, but the emo screen names will live forever.
AOL Instant Messenger, also known as AIM or AIM. The OG. Away messages were our first taste of passive-aggressive posting. The iconic door opening and door closing sounds announcing the arrivals and departures, and sometimes slamming it shut in the form of a dramatic sign-off.
MySpace, the first great social divide. Were you in someone's top 8 or were you dead to them? Custom HTML layouts, autoplay songs, and Tom, our first internet friend. We miss you, MySpace.
Photo Bucket. At one point, this site held every mirror selfie and terrible photo we ever took on our digicams. And then, out of nowhere, they all became broken image links, a betrayal we will never forgive.
Zanga, our first emo diaries. If you didn't post cryptic lyrics, were you even sad?
Tumblr. The breeding ground of fandoms and aesthetic photography. Sure, it technically still exists, but let's be real. Tumblr, you're just not the same.
Vine, 6 seconds of pure comedic gold. Vine walked so TikTok could fly.
TikTok. And now, here we are. The death of TikTok. It gave us book talk, the weirdest algorithm known to man, and an endless amount of dopamine hits. Taken too soon. Will it come back? Will we all just awkwardly return to Reels like nothing happened? Time will tell.
Now we've honored the past. So it's time to look ahead. And who better to help us peer into the unknown than today's guest, Kristen Lightwork.
Let's go. This week we have a special guest, Kristen McAllister, also known as Kristen Lightwork. Kristen is a natural-born spiritual intuitive medium whose sunny energy makes her a joy to talk to. A mother and accountant by day, and a spiritual psychic by night. She uses divination through tarot and clairsentient intuition to tap into spirit guides that bring forth the messages that need to come through.
Kristen will provide personal readings for both of us and offer a reading for the audience as well, and then share insights into her spiritual gift. Tune in for an inspiring conversation that's as warm and inviting as Kristen herself, and be ready to leave with a fresh perspective and a little more light in your day.
Welcome, Kristen. Woo! Thanks so much for joining us today.
I feel it already.
Hello. I'm so excited to be here.
Yes. So tell us a little bit, before we get into our readings, tell us a little bit about your background, your day-to-day life, and then a brief overview of your practice.
Okay, so I am an accountant by day. I have a normal job, and then I'm also a psychic medium. And I have been kind of navigating this aspect and building my spiritual business for the past 7 years. But I've always had gifts with spirit and the paranormal ever since I was a little girl. And so navigating life as a mom and an accountant, like a super logical aspect, like I have to be very grounded for that. But really my passion has always been with the paranormal and with spirit and studying our ascension. So every day is kind of like literally during the day, I'm doing again numbers. I'm literally crunching numbers. And then at night, I'm tapping in with the underworld and trying to just elevate my life and help others and read for others. So it's really fun. I love actually my life right now. I love it.
The dichotomy of that is so
Yeah.
interesting, but it's kind of perfect because you're never going to get sick of your day job because you're doing just such different activities in the
Yeah.
day and by night and weekend.
Absolutely. And it's honestly something I can't like shut off either during the day. So at work, there have definitely been times that I'm like reading for people and helping out spiritually. So I feel like I'm just continually trying to be a guide to people, no matter where I'm at or what aspect of life I'm in.
I was wondering that when you said that you have a day job and then this is kind of your night job. I can only imagine how much that crosses over. Does it ever get in the way of your day job?
Yes. Yes. Sometimes it does. I mean, there have been moments that it's gotten in the way because I was like working on a missing persons case a couple years ago. That got in the way emotionally, right? I couldn't really come to work super bubbly and like ready to put in the work, but I did. I had to. But that was a different vibration. Now there's other times where like I'm on kind of a spiritual high that I just can't get off of it. And I'm reading people that come into work. I'm sensing energy. And if you have bad vibes, I'm definitely catching that as well. So I can't help but like kind of act a little differently. So yeah, it definitely, I can't turn it off now.
Wow. How did you first realize that you had this gift?
So, like I said, I've always had experiences ever since I was a little girl. I'm a military brat, so I moved around a lot. And every time we moved, I just like assumed every place was haunted. I realized that wasn't the case very quickly. When I actually started reading for people and knowing that I was here to do that and actually like be of service was about 10, 11 years ago. It's interesting. You two are best friends, right? And it's so interesting how people come into our lives for such purposed reasons. And some of the most amazing friends I've ever had has really introduced me to new big aspects of who I am today. And that happened. Like I met this amazing friend. I'm going to shout her out, Christina. She's such a cool person, such a cool character. She's also from Russia and she's gorgeous. Let's just put it that way. And she's super spiritual. And we connected and vibed. And she's the first person that took me to a bookstore and introduced me to Oracle and tarot cards. And from there, she took me to a tarot reader. Every time I went to like a medium myself or another reader, they would tell me like, you're a medium, you're this. And then actually here, I have to shout this person out too, especially if you're in the Des Moines area. I highly recommend Rachel Corpus. I don't know if you've heard of her, but she's also a medium and she's called the Angel Counselor. But I've had some amazing experiences that I would never have had without that person that was like, you should feel confident to do this. So it's been a wild ride and I love doing it. I'm never going to stop.
I love that.
What does a typical reading look like for your clients?
It's like I'm tapping in, but I'm really talking at you for about an hour about what I'm getting, whether that's your loved ones coming through, whether that's through tarot and oracle, which is definitely what I use to bring forward the messages. And it's all for your highest purpose. There's nothing to necessarily fear with a reading with me. Of course, you have to feel like you resonate with the person you're getting a reading from. But it's just kind of me tapping in, picking up feelings, getting a sense of what you carry in your energy via virtual or in front of me in person. And I'm just letting you know what I pick up. It's kind of like my channel opens and then it closes afterwards. I really don't remember people's readings. People will be like, oh my gosh, do you remember you said this to me? I'm like, no, I don't remember. I can forget it within 24 hours.
You just like black out.
Yeah. And some people have questions. But honestly, what I like to do first is I like to just give you a vibe check. One of the things that I do when I'm doing those sort of personal readings online is I spend about 20 minutes before each client trying to just meditate and just think of their name and tap in. So for me, I just put myself in that position to be open. One of the biggest things I'll say about spiritual work for any type of spiritual work is you have to be so sure and secure in how much you trust yourself and what you're getting, right? And so I have developed personally for myself so much trust in what I receive in those moments that I don't deny it. I say what comes forward and I trust. I just trust. And every time I do that, that has proven to me that it doesn't matter whether I'm sitting with you in a room or you're 5,000 miles away from me. I can be able to tap in and read.
Like how does spirit communicate with you?
Do you like see them too?
Most of the time for me, it's clairsentience, which is clear feelings. I feel something. It like starts in my gut, and then I have to say something. I don't know how I feel it, but I feel it. We also have clear cognizance, which is clear knowing. Do you ever just say like, I just know this is going to happen, or I just know that like something about someone? That is your clear cognizance, okay? And all of
Maddie,
these are
that's you.
there you go.
Yeah.
All of these are essentially like muscles.
Yeah.
You know, they're like intuitive muscles that we can honestly just strengthen and work out. Then you have clairaudience, which is clear hearing. So I definitely have clairaudience. I would describe it at times that it's almost like I can either hear a sentence or it'll literally feel like someone is talking really close to my ear. I've had that happen. It's really creepy. Those are the creepy times. And then we have also clairalience, which is clear smelling. And I do have that as well. Sometimes there will be a random scent that will come in. And if that does happen with certain people that are like sitting with me, I know that's for them. That's not for me. So I have to bring it up. But really for me, it is definitely most clairsentience and claircognizance, where I'm just feeling and knowing stuff that I shouldn't. It's literally just a channel of how I read. That's what I feel like I am. It's just a channel.
Are you guys ready to get into a reading for, I think we have Lexi on the docket first for her first reading.
My first ever reading, you guys. I came on and I was like, Maddie, why am I nervous for this? I shouldn't be. You said nothing to fear, right?
Nothing to fear, yeah. And it's totally normal too. A lot of people that see me in person, it's their first times, and every time they sit with me, I'm like, oh my gosh, I'm so excited. But it's nothing to fear. And again, I'm just tapping in and seeing what's going on. That's it. That's all it is. I'm not purposely trying to get in there. It's whatever is brought forward is what the reader is going to pick up on. Okay.
Okay. Got it.
So are you ready? So what we're going to do is we're going to do I wanted to, since we're in this new year, it's 2025, I want to kind of give you both readings that are, this is maybe what you went through in 2024, and this is what you could probably experience in 2025. How does that feel?
Perfect.
I like it.
Easy peasy, okay? Easy peasy. Mm-hmm. So I will just get into it. Like I said, I use tarot and oracle. If you ever get a reading with me or see me on my lives on Instagram, I have a bunch of tarot and oracle decks. And that's just because they all serve different purposes for me. And that's just how I like to read. So I'll just go with it. So now we're here for Lexi. So you'll hear me reference spirit. And that's because I'm calling on to my spirit guides. But I call them as one, a spirit. Okay?
Okay.
All right. Okay, spirit. Show me what I need to see for Lexi. I was going to ask what was just the lesson for you to take with you from 2024. Okay? So what was the lesson for Lexi to see from 2024? See, these just flip out. So when you're in a reading with me and the cards are just flipping, I'm like, okay, like spirit is like telling me to talk about this, right? This is a big thing for you. So the lesson was the hermit. Your soul and self-solitude was a big aspect of learning what really makes you feel like you, coming back to soul, coming back to self again this year, and actually nourishing that. The other thing, this to me is kind of like what do I want to say, like a hot button word, right? We hear the term inner child a lot, but like that could have been also a big focus for your year. This last year is really nourishing and healing that inner child aspect. So with the hermit card as your lesson going into 2025, that's what you're supposed to take with you. You can't allow, how do I want to say this, distractions to take away from your peace in all different aspects, mental, wealth, health, all of that, okay? And also your goals. You're very driven, and so you just got to keep focusing on that. You feel probably at your best when you're attaining and making headway in your life. Does that make sense?
Mm-hmm.
So are you ready to go into 2025?
Yeah, let's go.
Okay, let's see. So I'm going to do a different deck here since it's a new year. All right. So
All
let's
right.
see, Spirit. What do we need to see for Lexi for 2025? Let's see what the theme is. Let's see what the theme is. What do we need to see for 2025, Spirit? For Lexi. Sometimes I sing my words because I like to. You are moving forward. And so you're moving forward in a huge aspect of your life. The Six of Swords is a big theme for you. So what Six of Swords would mean for someone is you're moving forward, you're moving on. It's kind of like that song that might be cheesy, but it's like, I can see clearly now the rain is gone. That's kind of like what I feel for your, like that's literally for this year. So there's something with you that maybe you're taking a big new change, a big new transition that could happen in 2025, and you're making waves, but really positive waves. What is the lesson for Lexi to see, Spirit, in 2025? What's the lesson to acknowledge and see? What do we need to see here? Okay, so this is an interesting card. Here's the thing. As a tarot reader over here, seeing the Hermit and the Hanged Man is growth. The Hanged Man, this is an interesting card. Now, this doesn't mean like a negative thing. This isn't a scary thing. What they're meaning is you're literally kind of hanging out. The Hangman is, there might not feel like there's a whole bunch of, when you don't have action moves, when you don't have things in front of you, you have to work on how productive you are with your time for yourself and your self-care. That's what I need to say to you, okay? It's about making use of your time that's best for you and replenishing yourself in your downtime, not burning yourself out, and also learning how to grow more in the aspect of there's certain things out of our control, and it's how we roll with the punches in that aspect that we're going to be working through this year. Last but not least, I just want to give you a little angel guidance. So what is the angel guidance we need to see for Lexi? How does she need to move forward this year? How does she need to move forward this year, Spirit? What does she need to see? Okay, there's something about you cutting off people and putting up boundaries and like in that sort of aspect. The energy from Spirit, this is like spiritual mic drop, okay, is cut the cords. Whatever it is, whatever's draining you, whoever's draining you in that sort of aspect, it's time to cut the cords this year. There's just no room for it. You have to kind of hold your energy to yourself and to your own obligations and responsibilities. It's like healing any like leakage of energy, essentially. I know that sounds weird, but that's what it is. It's like cutting the cords and moving forward for yourself is what you need to do. Does that make sense?
It does. It does. Wow. That was exhilarating. I'm like sweating.
Okay, that was like spot on though for you, I feel like.
It was very, I kept watching Maddie's face as you were talking because I could see her being like, yeah, that's so true.
I tried to like kind of not like
I could see it, but in my head I was doing the same thing. 2024 was a big year of growth for me. So everything you were saying was very spot on. I started the year kind of off dark, like I mentioned, my dog, and I just had some personal things and then just like a lot of changes that I had to adapt to. And then, I just like really hit the ground running this year in 2025, just setting goals and things like that. So I hope everything you're saying.
I can see clearly now the rain is gone. I feel like that was your energy literally like the day it turned.
Oh yeah. I told Maddie like this is a new year. I'm starting off. I was not impressed with last year. Wouldn't take it back because I'm happy with where I am now, but I'm ready to do it different. So everything you said. Yeah.
And the boundaries, we just recorded a whole podcast this weekend about her setting boundaries. And that's
oh my God. Two of my goals. One is to be intentional with my time,
I love it.
which you mentioned. And another one is, not spreading myself thin, investing in people who invest in me. And, last year was kind of eye-opening with some of that. So that was amazing. Thank you so much.
Absolutely. No problem. I'm so glad that it helped. That's really all it is. I'm just glad that it helps in any way.
Yeah. And now I'm so glad I get to sit back, relax, and listen in to Maddie's.
Dun, dun, dun. Okay, Maddie, are you ready?
Yes.
Okay, so I'm gonna get right into it.
So Kristen was my first reading ever, and I've only had one before, so this is
Yay!
my
Okay, so let's get into it for Maddie, Spirit. So sometimes I'll say when you knock and when you see people knock, it's to clear the energy. So I just want to explain that too, is that's why I'm doing that, okay? All right, so what do I need to see for Maddie? Show me the best card that represents Maddie right now, Spirit. What do we need to see? What do we need to see for Maddie? Let's see. What do we need to see? What is the best card? Also, I'll shuffle until I see a stop sign in my mind. I hear the word stop, or I'll feel pressure on my hands, or if they fly out like they did in Lexi's, that's definitely purpose, and I just trust no matter what is pulled for. So what do we need to see for Maddie for 2024? What was the theme that she went through in 2024? What did that year stand for Maddie, Spirit? What do we need to see? You actually got the Hanged Man. So this is what's really cool when I'm either reading for multiple people in a group or we're reading with different decks, is seeing a different depiction. So this is completely different. So that means your year of 2024 would have felt like there were some things, you were making progress, but maybe there was a lot more things at a standstill and things are ramping up now. There are certain things that like we just had to learn how to expand our time for ourselves wisely, make the most of it, and also like make sure we're giving ourselves enough time to heal through certain things, because the Hanged Man is essentially a lot about reflection. So this year could have felt very emotional at times for you in having to choose yourself and having to really make sure that you are valuing yourself while certain things are still moving and sorting through. It's almost like waiting to see. And now you're in a different space. We're still being methodical and planning forward, but it's like, again, like it all matters the steps that you take. Does that make sense?
It does, yeah.
Let's get into 2025 then. So now we're going to flash forward. So we're going to see what is in store for you for 2025. So what do we need to see from Maddie, Spirit? Oh, it felt so like.
Ooh.
What do we need to see for 2025 from Maddie, Spirit? What is that theme that we need to see for her highest and best purpose? We have the King of Wands for you. So the King of Wands is inspirational. It is standing on a soapbox and really like speaking your truth, speaking your words, kind of like what we're all doing right here, right now. Sitting in our authenticity and being super motivated. I also want to say too, this is just intuitively, like you could be, maybe this is like in your like day-to-day life, you could be also taking on some form of like a leadership aspect or leadership position a little bit more than what you're already doing, or like you have more responsibilities coming in. But this year for you is going to be a lot about following your spark and staying in that energy and like staying in this like motivated energy. So this year can be very fruitful for you. And like your inspiration, like you just have a spark about something. So now we're going to see what is the lesson to know about 2025. Okay, what's the lesson to acknowledge? So what is Maddie's lesson to acknowledge for 2025? What do we need to see? What is that lesson we need to see for Maddie for 2025? What do we need to see? Ooh, sorry, I get excited with these cards, especially when people get like the Lovers. You just got the Lovers. So the lesson, it's like kind of spicy. The lesson with the Lovers card is, I feel like really this year for you, if you know, like with relationship and in regards to love, it is about, for some reason I want to say like connecting in a new way, or like there's something that is expanding in your love life in some way. So also could be like maybe like trip or something like that. It just feels like maybe even like traveling in a sense as well could be happening, but like a romantic place or something. So Lovers is the big aspect. It's about love. There's a lesson there with that. And maybe this is also like making sure that there's time. Like, I don't know. I don't want to say too much because obviously this is like, you know, going public, but like,
you can. I don't mind.
Okay. It's something about time. It's something about making time for each other and making sure that you guys have your own time. There's something about that, like making time, doing things, coming back together in that way. And like, this could be like a great lovey-dovey year is what I'm saying, or a love transformation year of your heart. that's what's coming in for this. So feeling very loved. So I love that part. And then I'm also going to do, last but not least, your angel guidance. So what do we need to see from Maddie's angel guidance spirit? Going for, oh, wow. Like that just like came out. Harmony and resolution. This year is going to feel a lot more at peace for you and how you are loving, how your life is developing even further. I feel like this is going to be a really happy and sentimental year is the terms I want to give you. So
Okay.
how do you feel?
That makes sense, especially for 2024, like towards the end of the year. I literally made a goal to like not go on vacation, not travel, stay home, be like sit where I am and just be at peace and enjoy being home and steady. Because I felt like I was just all over the place.
Yeah.
So I really tried to build that foundation. So that actually makes so much sense. And then again, I did feel like towards the end of the year, everything I have been feeling like stagnant, but like I also felt like I needed to feel stagnant, if that makes sense.
Yeah, that's exactly like the Hanged Man, because it's like there's not a lot of like motion you can do, but it's like needing to kind of be aware and kind of how do I want to say, like revisit certain things that we went through. So reflection, that's what I want to say.
Yes, that makes so much sense because I lost both grandmothers earlier this year, and then my family moved to Des Moines, and there was just so much going on that I just was in go mode through all these things, and then I sat back and I'm like, what the just happened? Like, you know, I haven't even sat down and like thought about it. So that makes so much sense for that.
Awesome. Good. And how do you feel about the lovers for your
Well, maybe if you're gonna be sticking around more, maybe that's why you and Kurt will be spending more time together. Maddie's the busiest person I've ever met.
Yeah, we literally are trying to like, that's why like I think on my vision board I had a picture of me and Kurt on it and like going to movies and just like doing the simple shit. Yeah. So that makes so much sense. And then you said travel, so I think we are going to Europe this summer, us too. That's so that'll be nice too. Yeah.
Oh, that'll be really awesome. That'll be exciting. Mm-hmm.
So that made sense.
Yay!
Awesome.
Okay, well, it sounds like 2025 is going to be better than 2024, so that's exciting.
Yeah.
And I thought Lexi and I's energies aligned because maybe this podcast will take off even more.
Yeah.
Yeah. We're so masculine. Absolutely. Always.
We kind of are.
We really are, though, in like a lot of ways. So,
well, you both have that take charge energy. Like literally, like this is not. Both of your readings were not like, yeah, just sit back and be in your feminine and be like so dainty. Like no, like you guys are like taking charge in 2025, and you're both going after it, which is awesome.
Yeah.
I feel like we've got that energy from each other already in the first 8 days. So
I feel that.
So like when you're reading, I mean, essentially tarot and readings don't predict exact events. They're like more about guidance and possibilities, correct?
Yeah. Yes.
Okay.
Yeah.
And moving into, we're doing a reading for the audience. Yeah. How does that work?
Yeah, so it is like collective energy is reading for multiple people and like reading for big audiences. And I'm just kind of essentially asking spirit to show me messages that are going to be aligned for particular readers and people readers, but also clients and people and listeners, right? That are going to hear this message. So I guess it's more of like a theory in my mind that I follow it. This is the only way I can explain it, is that if it's supposed to resonate with you, it's going to. If it doesn't, it doesn't, and that's okay. It's just everyone comes in these different soul groups, in my perspective, okay? And we all go through certain similar lessons and certain like lessons and groups of lessons. Have you ever had like your friends that are going through so many similar things at the same time and you can't explain it, but you're all going through an individual lesson that's so similar? It's because you're in the same soul group and you're here to kind of rise above those lessons, those issues, those tribulations. So I feel like with collective readings, I give you two choices because I'm asking Spirit to bring forward whatever messages can impact the most that are going through it. And they're going to have those people that need to hear it, hear it.
That does make sense. And I'm like, I had to ask because I'm on like spiritual TikTok. I feel
Yeah.
like I get so many card readings on that.
Yeah.
So I just want to understand how that works. And
Right.
obviously, not all of them resonate. So they're not meant
Absolutely.
for
Yeah.
me.
Correct.
But yeah,
Want to get into the group reading?
yes, let's do it.
Okay.
Are you guys ready?
Whatever day whatever day our listener is listening to
Yeah.
this,
It's
this
timeless.
is it can be at any time, and this is when it's
Timeless.
meant for you to hear it. Correct?
Yeah. Timeless. So, yeah, I'm gonna give you two symbols. So on my Instagram channel, I go by Kristen Lightwork, and I pop on with a weekly live reading, and I do the same thing. So I'm only gonna pull two cards for these to make sure we keep it tight and brief. But anyways, but on there it's a little bit longer. And the symbols I always choose is the sun or the moon. I'm not asking you to think about astrology. I'm just asking you to think about the symbol. When you think about the sun or you think about the moon, which one draws you the most to it? Okay? So right now in your mind, if you're listening, think about the sun or the moon, which symbol sticks out the most. And we're going to go just with the suns first, okay? So I'm just going to pull, whenever you're reading this, what is the theme of the message you need to hear the most right now? So this is for the sun. So if you chose the sun symbol, this is for you. What do the suns need to know, Spirit? What is the message the suns need to know the most right now? What do we need to see? Interesting. So we have the King of Swords, but we have it reversed. So I'm going to show this card upright, and then I'm going to show it reversed. Okay. So a reversal can definitely matter in tarot and oracle. What I want to say, if you chose the sun right now, you could be feeling like you need to like really stand tall on something, and Spirit is saying, don't be immovable, be open to change, be open to transformation, be open to a new direction that could be kind of like staring you in the face. It's time to, and I mean this with love, come off of these like super high expectations that people might be holding themselves to a fault, and say, I'm ready for change. I'm actually ready for moving forward and moving forward in my life. Why I say that is because when we get the King of Swords upright, when it's normal, that means that you want to stand your ground. I would tell you like, hey, you need to stand firm on this belief and go forward with it. But reversed is like, you need to be a little moldable right now and be open to new paths that are coming in front of you. There's something more that you can't see. And if you hold yourself up so high here, you're not going to see everything. It's kind of like we need to come down to earth and be open to change. With love. I'm saying all this with love. Okay? And just for clarity, what do you need to know moving forward? When you listen to this message, you know what? This is beautiful. What you need to know moving forward is you're going to cross whatever bridge you're nervous about crossing. The seven of wands here means we're heading out into new territory. You're going to be able to do it. Any change, any hardship that you're trying to figure out how you're overcoming, resources are going to be brought to you. And it's important to be able to say that we are willing to receive help on this to move forward in our lives. We're willing to see the hand and grab it if someone's holding a hand out to you to help you move forward in some aspect. So if you chose the Sun Collective here, if you chose the sun as your symbol, you could be feeling a little down about changes that you might have to be making or changes you didn't see coming, but you are made for the road ahead of you, not the current road that you're facing. And in order to get there, you have to be willing to cross certain bridges. So get ready for change is what I'd say if you chose the sun, and it's going to be successful, and don't be afraid of it. Okay. Let's get into the second message. So this is going to be the moon. So if you chose the moon, this is for you. So what do the moons need to know? What's the most important message if you chose the symbol of the moon for you? What do you need to see here tonight? What do you need to know whenever you listen to this? What does that mean? The Ace of Swords, this is interesting here. This is a new thought, a new idea. Do not sleep on your ideas and on ways of things that you want to create efficiency with and how you want to move forward. There's going to be a new idea coming into play, and It's what you do with it that matters right now. It's also about communication and not being afraid to communicate things, not being afraid to say what you need to say. This can also mean too that someone is going to communicate about working with you or communicate about a new idea as well. So for the Moon Collective, this is almost about new opportunities at hand and what we do with it, and to not be afraid of new ideas that are like coming at you. Essentially do something with it, write it down, don't hold back, okay? And let's see just what you need to know moving forward with this. If you chose the Moon Collective right now, what do we need to see for your highest and best? Oh, okay. Some of this could be about connections and relationships. We have the Two of Cups. It's almost like say what you need to say, do what you need to do, move forward, and let new ideas come to you. This can also mean that certain people are placed in your path right now for a reason, and to be open to those people coming into play here. But if you chose the Moon Collective, you're definitely going to be moving in a different direction than maybe what you thought. And that comes in with people in your life and people that bring inspiration and love to you. So those people are good if they keep showing up right now.
Maddie, what one did you pick?
Sun.
I picked the moon. That's funny. Well, I could see you not being as into the moon, so I figured we like picked the opposite ones, but it resonated with me as well. I can't really talk about it, but something happened right before the podcast that made that totally make sense.
Yeah.
Yay! I'm so excited for you then. That's awesome.
Yeah.
I'm so excited to hear people's feedback on if they chose the sun or the moon and if it resonates with them and what that looks like. So listeners, please give us your feedback and let us know if that resonated with you and what you think. And also, Kristen is in Des Moines and available for readings in person or on Zoom. I don't know what you use, Zoom or some sort of
virtually.
Yeah, right. You can book in on my Instagram. I have a link in my bio, or an email. You can book me through email as well at kristenlightwork@gmail.com.
Well, obviously, we really resonated with your readings, and what you do every day is so interesting, but also it has to be extremely rewarding. What is the most rewarding part about being a medium?
Yeah. The most rewarding part is being someone. I just love knowing that I help open people up and I help validate spirit. That's the best reward, is someone saying like, thank you for allowing me to really believe and to open up to spirit. Like that's truly the biggest reward, is opening people up and being their experience to show that there's so much out there that we don't necessarily always know is out there, but they are, and our loved ones are very much still here, just in a different way.
Have you listened? I have to ask you this. Have you listened to the Telepathy Tapes podcast? Or have you heard of it?
No.
Okay, I'll have to send it to you, but it's about these nonverbal autistic children, and for years and years they've been finding out that they can read minds. It's proven, they've tested it, everything, and they all go and talk on a hill together and speak to each other miles and miles apart, and it's proven, and no one's talking about it because science is like,
that's amazing.
The science community is like exiling these people who bring it up, because it's like when Nicholas Copernicus decided that the sun actually was in the middle of the solar system and not the earth. Like all the rest of the science is based on that. So nobody wants to talk about it. And it's insane.
So cool. And that's definitely the form of channel. Like they're channeling. Like we all have that aspect to do it. So that's amazing. I need to listen to that because that's fucking dope.
Yeah. The telepathy tapes. Sorry to get sidetracked.
No, it's okay. That is really interesting.
Yeah.
I'm gonna get us back. What's the most surprising reaction you've ever received after a reading?
I just don't know what I'm going to say. And I don't know. Like when I channel, I just sit. So I just get more surprised with when someone says like, you said this and this is really what this represented. That's pretty crazy. Like, just briefly, one of the biggest things that was really crazy to me, I read for this girl. She was out in California. I kept seeing a visual of like Blues Brothers, like literally the movie The Blues Brothers, and like the scene where they're like in the club and there's like the saxophone player. So I said that, and I specifically said the saxophone, and the girl was like, holy crap. Her dad was one of the musical composers for that exact movie, and he specialized in the saxophone. And I was like, what the hell? Like, that's the stuff that surprises me, is like what I'm shown really means. That's what it surprises me.
Wow.
That was crazy.
Mm-hmm.
Nice.
Mm-hmm.
And then lastly, what advice would you give to someone who might be nervous or skeptical about getting a reading?
Only do it if it feels right to you. If you feel like that's truly what you need. I love readings. Don't get me wrong. I love reading for people. I'd love to read for you if you ever want a reading with me. But unless it feels right and you actually want it, don't do it. Everyone has things that resonate and has people that resonate. And so there's nothing to be nervous about, in my view, but you have to be open to it. And you have to be willing to say, I'm just going to sit here and see what happens. But there's nothing to be scared of when you sit with someone that is just to help give you messages of clarity. There's nothing to be nervous on. And that's probably what I would say, is just make sure you actually want it, be open, and it should be just fine. You'll receive what you need.
And do you have any tips for people who want to connect with their own intuition? I know you said that everybody has the ability to tap in.
Yeah. Again, I would say like a lot of the times with our spiritual journeys, we try and jump to the cool stuff. Like, oh, I want to learn Reiki, or, oh, I want to learn tarot, or I want to learn Oracle. The biggest thing is, like I keep saying, it's like a trust fall, because it starts with faith. And you have to have faith in spirit. You have to have faith that something else is out there. And you also have to trust yourself that you're not crazy, right? So it's a big journey of self-trust, self-care, and self-love first. And you have to understand that goes hand in hand with spirituality. You can't escape your real life to just dive into something weird and cool. It goes hand in hand to actually access all of that. And so you have to remember the self-work that comes with the spiritual work.
Wow.
Mm-hmm.
It's not,
We
that's
both
not
said
easy.
wow at the same time.
Yeah, that's the hard part. It
Yeah.
takes courage and faith.
Well,
Yeah.
and work. I mean, I'm sure it's not easy to get yourself here. So
It's a practice. It's just like anything else. Just like when you're trying to build a muscle, you got to practice, train it, stretch it out, all of that. That's what you do.
Wow. Well, thanks again so much. I'm so excited to have you here and for everyone to see your gift in action, and hopefully book a reading with you at some point. But where can listeners find you if they do want to book a reading or check out your website?
Yeah, so I am on social media right now. So I have my Instagram and Facebook, that I'm mostly on Instagram, forewarning, the most. So you can find me at Kristen Lightwork. And you can also, if you don't have those social media platforms, you can reach out to me through email at kristenlightwork@gmail.com, and we can do bookings through there, and you can book through my links in my social media pages as well.
Amazing. Do you have Instagram? Do you have a TikTok or no? You do?
Okay, so I did, and technically it's still out there, but like I said, with like readings, like everything resonates for everybody, and for me, TikTok doesn't resonate for me, like as a individual. I like it, don't get me wrong. I watch reels on Instagram, and all of that stuff. I love that.
Yeah.
But for some reason, just me personally, it doesn't resonate with my energy, and I always felt kind of negative or low after that. So I haven't had TikTok for like a year, but I still have a TikTok page. People can see things I've posted before. So right now I do my one-on-one live reading. So that would be like virtually, or I also am at Kin downtown. I want to say that as well. You can book me to get me in person for a 20-minute reading at Kin. I have dates going through summer right now, so those are available on their website. But yeah, I have my one-on-one readings. We can do 1 hour, 30 minutes. I also have something that a lot of my clients love, is called a soul write-up. It is where I am recording the whole reading without you there. And I just send you what I'm tapping in without us talking. And I just send you a video. And my clients love that because it validates we're not talking about things. And I'm just picking up whatever's in their energy. And they can rewatch that afterwards as well. So I do those as well.
Awesome.
Those are about 30 to 45 minutes too.
That's so cool. Awesome.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Thank you.
Again, my first experience was great. I'm going to have to, I already want to do it again. I already know.
Yay.
Again,
That's
to all
awesome.
our listeners, send us in if it resonated to you. Send it in. Tell us why. If you feel comfortable, message us, email us, whatever. However you want to reach us. I'm excited to see them.
Yes. And we have Kristen's handles and website in the episode info. So make sure you look at the description if you're still listening. And don't forget to follow us on TikTok, Instagram, and subscribe to the podcast. A new episode every Wednesday. Thanks again. And thanks so much, Kristen. This is so much fun. And thanks for the work that you do, not only just for us here, but like just for the world. Like your energy is so great.
So
And
much.
we appreciate it.
Thank you so much for having me on. I loved coming on here. So thanks.
You're welcome.
Bye.
Bye.